comfortable complacency, letting vengeance fade and the prevalent presence of spirit. April 8, 2013. If we could only detail every last bit of energetic progress you the ascending humanity have been making upon your paths, then we would be able to uplift and motivate you dear souls in much stronger ways than we will be able to because of the communication gap between us and you. This gap that we speak of is growing smaller and smaller by the moment, and as has been said, your belief in your ability to pick up on our impressions will determine its strength. The sacred bond with the higher realms, and with we souls within the higher realms that humanity is beginning to open up to, simply cannot go unrealized by the entirety of your collective, and every single one if you will in due time. Find the states of consciousness that help you to understand the reality of every facet of what is happening on your world and in realms far beyond the conscious understanding of the physical humanity. We have so much light and love to share with you dearest souls, and we ask for you to open yourselves up and receive this love as you absorb our communication and feel the impressions we are sending each of you individually. We are connected with every soul who is absorbing this communication, and we will begin to make ourselves known before many of you who find yourselves close with our energies and impressions. The energies of this time. We would like to speak on what this current time is providing for you energetically. At present, you are being given continual rounds of shifting and upgrading, and your physical bodies need the proper nutrition and balance to be able to absorb the increasingly pure energies you're being given. We ask you all to make your attempts to connect with the planetary chakras or energy gates of dearest Gaia, for in doing so, you will receive a bounty of source energy that you will be able to recognize as coming through yourselves. Indeed, so many of you have already begun to open up to the concepts of energy work and light work, and your actions have been wonderful to behold indeed, for so very many of you have helped to bring in and anchor a new paradigm that much of the physical humanity is still out of resonance with. We ask for you all to expect rebellion in some earthly souls when disclosure breaks, who for the most part, do still resonate with the earthly paradigm so many of you are growing away from. So many earthly souls have forgotten their true spiritual and multidimensional nature, and like you, they will grow back into that realization, but a lack of perception of the higher realms has driven a comfort with the physical paradigm that some souls will not want to have broken. Indeed, plenty of souls on your world are still comfortable in the old vibrations of negativity and separation from their fellow man, and we are looking toward you, awakening souls, to act as the light beacons and truth bringers that will help those still lost within the fading paradigm of physicality to be able to find the higher states of consciousness every soul truly deserves to feel and know. Reflections in the collective energies. The collective vibrations are reflecting both the density that has been put out by humanity, and the wonderfully pure lighted energies each of you are being given. You are assimilating these energies and radiating them out for the entirety of your collective to absorb, so we hope you can understand when we say that the unawareness being fed collectively at present will indeed give way for a collective enlightenment, and every soul upon your world will feel such enlightenment if they choose to. It is a sacred choice to knowingly advance from one realm of consciousness to another, and each of you who have continued along your ascension processes valiantly have been able to anchor and radiate the higher realms as you find yourselves grasping new concepts, which are features of the new paradigm you are entering. This new paradigm is and will continue to be built upon by each one of you beyond the realms of your conscious understanding, and we wish for you to know that you can reflect the new paradigm you are beginning to enter with your physical actions, words and thoughts in any and every moment. Everything you do must reflect the paradigm you wish to build, and we wish for you dear souls to understand and see how you can be held back when allowing negativity to change how you are feeling about yourselves and your lives. For this and so many other reasons, we ask for you to allow negativity and difficulty to pass you on by whenever they creep up and attempt to change your perspective. Surfacing. They will do so quite successfully if you allow them to, and everything that's coming up for each of you is related to the surfacing of buried away mindsets, habit patterns and memories that accumulated during your past lives, and for many of you, your childhood. What you are going through is related to things you previously experienced on the earth, and every last bit of pressure, stress or frustration that is coming to you now is absolutely meant to be before you, so that you can learn and grow away from it and the perspective it would drive. When you can allow yourselves to be seen as sovereign God sparks of an infinite, powerful and all-loving Creator, any worry or concern about your current physical self will diminish away and will be replaced with the security, comfort and knowing that the higher realms are and have always been with you. Dearest scribe, we have indeed met and worked before in past encounters, before you and all absorbing this message made your ways to the earth, and as we have said before, we have worked with nearly every one of you in the past as well. You will come to discover that your work with the ascended souls speaking to and through humanity has indeed been fruitful, and for many of you, this is why you find yourselves so drawn to our communications or to the channeled communications of plenty of other souls assisting in the ascension of your planet. You have worked with us and them in the past, and even the souls in the lives of some of you who are playing the enemy position have worked with you in the past and in many cases, have even been allies. The futility of separation and the progress of disclosure. The ally versus enemy mindset will fade away collectively on your world when humanity's oneness is fully known and understood, and we ask for you, dear souls, to see the futility of separation and to understand that continuing to fight against each other will only manifest disharmony on the world stage, and the manifestations that have long been looked toward, which will usher in your new paradigm, will be stalled that much longer because the collective energies would not yet allow for the presence of we or your galactic brethren, as well as so many others. Your vibrations in this very moment are determining what is to happen with disclosure and the giving of abundance to your world, and while our perspective is mostly an energetic one, we will be happy to provide such perspective on the ongoing attempt to introduce disclosure and abundance on your world. As you have been told, you light workers are and have been instrumental in spreading so much truth and light alike, and you have fruitfully trained for this life that you are in. You have the infinite ability to access the higher realms and help every soul on your world find such an access for themselves, and the energies you can bring through yourselves and express to those around you are vastly purer than what you would expect to be able to express as of yet. These energies will only continue to increase in purity, and many of you will find the increased perception resulting from this. Along with this increase in perception, you will find the brimming astral landscapes that have simply been waiting to be accessed and felt by you once again. We ask for you all to imagine your infinite abilities to travel anywhere you wish to and perform any feat or miracle you wish to, for truly, you are garnering these powers for yourselves as you realize that you have always been infinite beings who are not limited in any way. You can experience so much higher dimensional joy, beauty and wonder, but for many of you, the shells and veils employed within the lower dimensional experience can stop you from fully attaining an access to such things, and again, you will forever be encouraged to see when negativity is attempting to take your unfolding higher dimensional experience from you, and rightly put an end to its influence over you, for when doing so you will see, feel and understand the harmony that is meant to be accessed and felt by each of you. This harmony has been bestowed upon you by our dear Creator and can never fully be forgotten. Only temporarily lost. Increasing the distortion of energy. The energies creating and sustaining your reality are increasing in purity in every moment, and as you know, we have had a hand in increasing the purity of these energies with each time they are sent to you. When we receive such energies from higher dimensional entities within your sun, we are required to increase their distorted nature before they are sent to your reality, and this distortion is minimizing in every moment as the Awakening Light Worker Collective help to transmute the aforementioned lower dimensional veil that has been created around so very many souls. This veil will continue to be mentioned and discussed, as the importance of piercing and transmuting it and everything that has held it in place could not be expressed enough. Each one of you who are beginning to find an access to the higher realms will benefit greatly by undergoing your final surfacings and releasing of negativity, so that you can enjoy the growing connection you are garnering for and finding within yourselves. Understand, dear souls, that this connection is only to grow, and that any fear or concern you may have about somehow losing your connection are not based in the heavenly reality you are growing toward. You are assured to ascend. Every soul who begins to be interested in the subject of ascension is assured to ascend, and this is because of the subconscious drive that would manifest in their outward reality as an introduction to the concept of ascension which, if at their surface they are ready to embrace, they will resonate with and begin to understand and accept. Indeed, your ongoing evolution should not be minimized as a New Age theory, because your evolution is a very real and cosmic event, and were your mainstream science truly acting in the best interests of the people, your collective evolution would have long been understood and discussed. However, too many aspects of your world are still kept under the control and fading influence of the few with money and perceived power, and these souls have created money specifically in an attempt to keep them in higher positions and you dear souls in positions of poverty and difficulty. Opened minds and closed-off hearts. These souls possess mental intelligence to have been able to do everything they have to humanity, but their hearts have been closed for so very long and their closed-off hearts are being worked on by a myriad of forces in the higher realms, as the events preceding your collective ascension simply need to happen and the stubbornness of these souls cannot be allotted any longer. We cannot continue to accept or tolerate the stalling on the part of the dark souls who only wish to keep you trapped in bondage and limitation, and indeed, neither should you, dear souls. We ask you to peacefully rise up as the powerful and sovereign collective you are, and fully demand answers as well as abundance for every soul on your world to enjoy a good standard of living. Any intelligent soul who looks around your world can see that it is not in the condition it is supposed to be. Indeed, too many souls are still suffering under the bondage of poverty, and your right to clean water and healthy food has been denied to you. We do not say this to put you in a state of anger or vengeance, but if such feelings arise for any of you, we ask you to sit with them and analyze them rather than attaching yourselves to them. Releasing vengeful mindsets. When discussing the cabals and their actions, do you find that negativity or a wish for vengeance arises within you? If so, then it is likely because of the aforementioned subconscious pains, fears and hates held within that are coming up to the surface for release. Your outer realities are always reflective of your inner, and the feelings and emotions you feel which will teach you are being brought about because of the external events you feel garnered. Such emotions are in many cases actually because of things that have happened to you previously that garnered such feelings. The diminishing influence of the cabals will be and has already been apparent, and there are already so very many happenings ushering in the new paradigm on the world stage while so very much of your populace continues to remain temporarily unaware. Disinformation attempts and the growing influence of the light. The cabals have had their day in the sun and their influence is and has always been temporary, though they have thought themselves able to maintain their grip for far longer than they have been told by your galactic brethren they would be allotted to. At present, they are fighting to maintain their grip and influence via the network of disinformation and negativity spreading that is ongoing on various alternative media and spiritual news websites, among doing other things. Individuals are paid to surf various forums and in many cases, build up a reputation to use as an avenue to funnel disinformation that they are being paid to analyze, study, learn and express on the sometimes various websites and forums they are assigned to. This, along with many other things, are continuing to be done in a frantic effort to keep the dark's influence and the negativity and separation that has driven it employed, and even the souls who have been hired to do such things have recently been encouraged to hype up the negativity and infighting in any ways that they can, because again, your cabal and the descendants of the astral beings who have employed them wish for negativity to seem as the prevalent energy and influence when truly, it is no longer. Potential earth changes will not be destructive. The actions of each and every one of you have proven this fruitfully, and again, the light you are bringing forth is changing things in ways you could not yet imagine. There will be many changes to make upon your dear earth indeed, and many of the earth changes that have been discussed will not be brought about in catastrophic or destructive ways and will rather be brought about peacefully by the awakened humanity and with technologies you will be given by your galactic brethren which largely involve frequencies and sound, that we will help you to understand and learn to utilize. You will be making a plethora of changes in every aspect of your world and society. Governments that are in place currently which do not act in the best interests of the people are to be replaced with temporary governments that are established by you, the sovereign humanity, and as has been said, individuals with lighted intentions will step up and offer themselves to the fair governing of your entire world. Every one of you will be instrumental in electing officials who you know will be acting based on what you want done on your world, and with the off-world and extra-dimensional assistance you will be given with the restoration and full repair of your world as well as the initiation of it and each of you into the galactic society you have always been destined to become. Everything will be brought about with a grace and ease that for many of you does not likely seem possible as you continue to meet the same old earthly limitations and densities. Relinquishing the desire to control. Again, everything happening before you is related to the surfacing of aspects of yourselves that many of you have hidden away from without realizing it was so, and when you can relinquish the mental desire to control the outcome of situations occurring in your lives, you will find yourselves enjoying the experiences that play out before you quite a bit, as you see that unique and specific things are set up to happen in every single day of your lives. Absolutely everything happens for a reason, and you will find when releasing the control of your lives to your spiritual selves and the facets of your higher selves helping you to shape and mold the events that will play out, that so very much will happen that is meant to help you find and remain in your ever-important spiritual centers. Remaining balanced. When you can find and remain within such center, you will be able to master so many aspects of your lives that we see some of you having trouble with. Everything you are experiencing has been planned out, and you will find upon reaching the states of consciousness of the fifth dimension that your life paths have been very carefully planned and that everything you've manifested for yourselves has fit into this plan accordingly. Balance and remaining in your center have always been necessary components of finding and remembering the higher realms and the perspective and emotions that drive your unfolding higher dimensional experience, and the aforementioned veil between our realms and yours simply could not be smaller as it continues its disintegration into nothingness. This will happen along with the merging of your third and fourth dimensional realms and experiences with those of the fifth dimension, and the disclosure of the existence of various ascended beings from various planets and off-world organizations such as the Galactic Federation and the Ashtar Command will precede your collective entrance into the fifth dimension. Indeed, many of you will witness disclosure from a fourth dimensional point of view, and even the issuing of disclosure and humanity's learning of so very many truths and revelations will help initiate you into the pure states of consciousness that so many facets of the awakening public are already beginning to access masterfully. Synchronicities abound. Synchronicities abound in this present moment, and we ask for you to realize the many ways in which they will make themselves known to you. Of course, synchronicities do not have to be numeric in nature, and whenever you notice anything that seems to be of a coincidental or repetitive nature or is based upon something you were thinking right before it happened, you can take those things as signs that we of the higher realms are attempting to make ourselves known to you and are encoding messages into the events that happen in your lives. We do this in accordance with the actions of your future selves and your higher selves, who are helping to mold and shape your lives in the specific ways you have allotted them to be molded for your personal growth and learning of lessons. Fruitfully encoded impressions and the energies they come within also abound for each of you at this time, and when you can pull these increasingly pure vibrations to yourselves, you will understand that, as we mentioned above, they are simply not going anywhere. These energies are to sit within your minds and hearts and slowly yet strongly permeate your conscious perspectives, until the light so many of you have been able to feel becomes the prevalent influence. Not just on the world stage, but within yourselves as well. You can aid in this endeavor in each and every moment, and one of the best things you can do is to get out and enjoy the brimming nature Gaia has to offer. For your mental and emotional fields will be cleansed and you will be re-energized with the awesome and omnipotent power of our dearest Creator when doing so. Spirits are with you. Along with doing everything you can to find and feel the brimming pure vibrations beginning to make themselves known within you, you can also begin to realize that our presence and that of departed loved ones and other souls in the planes of nirvana or other earthly metaphysical planes, are and will only continue to be with you and attempt to make ourselves known to you in bolder and bolder ways. Dearest Wesley, you recently had a conversation with a departed loved one who you were fairly close with, and this soul was quite happy with the exchange indeed. We note that you noted the feel of the exchange, which was not as if you were speaking to someone who has passed on, but rather a family member who was excited to speak with you and who will be excited for the future conversations that are to result from the initial exchange. The departed loved ones of many of you have been attempting to get a hold of you, because an initial desire to communicate with those still on the earth is strongly bred in one who has departed their life. For many, it is understood and accepted that the veils just cannot be breached in relation to them getting to communicate with their loved ones, but those of you who are beginning to awaken and receive higher dimensional impressions within yourselves can now find and communicate with those around you who have passed on, and not only can you do this, they on the other side are excitedly awaiting your ability to do so. Those of you who are opened up are receiving constant impressions from those around you who have passed on, in hopes that the awakenings you have found in yourselves are instrumental in helping you to actually pick up on their frequencies and find a connection. Wesley, the soul who was close to you, was indeed very happy to finally be able to connect with you in such a pure manner, and we say this to you in front of all, absorbing this communication in an effort to help them understand that they too can find such a strong connection and find and rebuild upon the relationships with their loved ones who have moved on. Responding to the ascension energies in nirvana. While we do not wish to generalize every soul who has departed on your world, we can say that the ascension energies being delivered to you at present are being responded to quite favorably by many souls who have passed on in recent decades. The ascension of the earth has been in an incredibly intensified phase since the 1930s in your time, whenever dearest Gaia cried out for the assistance of various higher dimensional souls and was aided in this call by dear Archangel Michael and a plethora of other souls who recruited us, you and so many others, for the ascension of the earth and for our collective attempt to spread the light on the earth in preparation for such an ascension. Souls from various higher realms are with you now and are also waiting to be made known to you, dearest souls, and this connection can be picked up on as well as your hearts continue to open and your minds continue to sharpen in terms of your ability to receive, decode and translate the metaphysical impressions and energies you're being given from the higher realms. Excitement for contact beyond the veil. The joyful and bountiful energies of spirit are begging to be made known within you now, and we and every other facet of the light forces assisting your world await the time when we can be with you openly on your world just as much as you dear souls do. We do indeed feel the drive and at times, impatience in many of you for matters to really get off of the ground and for your efforts to begin wielding the results you have heard so very much about, and we understand and respect them, and honor you for them and for what you are doing on the earth at this time. You did indeed know how difficult this mission was to be, but you also knew of the pure energies and perspectives you were to be able to find in yourselves, which many of you have built upon your ability to perceive in plentiful past lives on the earth. While there are the few evolving souls on your world who have only been here for a short few lives, so many of you have taken to thousands of lives upon the earth and have truly mastered all of the lessons you are undergoing now, as well as the final aspects of the same overall lessons you have long set out for yourselves to learn. Some of you have already ascended on the surface of the earth individually, and have come back for the big parade that is the collective ascension of the earth. As has been said before, there will indeed be fireworks, so to speak. And what we mean by this is that much will be happening, and so very many things of a startling nature will present themselves to humanity. Indeed, some of you may have to pick your jaws up off of the ground after learning some of what has been done, but in the end, everybody will understand that what you will have learned was and is necessary for your growth and for the final and just shattering of a carefully crafted and instated paradigm of physicality that has been, in many cases, forced onto by many facets of the human collective. The false reign of corporations and quelling initial upsets. Make no mistake, dear souls. The United States of America is indeed a corporation on which the cabals have a perceived reign by way of sub-corporations taking over and polluting the land and environment, and every soul with nearly every job in the United States and in many other countries are making money for the cabals that is being used for various black ops programs, as well as drug, gun and human smuggling among other things. These will be some of the truths you will have to absorb as a collective, and finding out where your hard-earned tax dollars have really been going may put many of you in an initial upset that we hope the lightworker public will be able to help quell. You lightworkers will, again, be so very instrumental in so many aspects of disclosure, and you will be acting as full representatives for the higher dimensions and for the galactic and ascended souls who will be making ourselves known to you. This is a mammoth task indeed, and we ask those of you who are fully and truly committed to this role to realize what you will be doing so very soon, for your lives are to become much, much busier and indeed, more enjoyable than they are now. We will make our final impressions for this communication now so as not to burn out you dear readers, though we note and appreciate the enthusiasm in our scribe who feels as if we could keep going for much, much longer. He and many of you are beginning to feel this way because of the supreme opening of your hearts taking place, and we will continue to encourage your interest in bringing the encoded impressions of the higher realms through for yourselves, to decode and absorb. Enjoy the lightning perspective beginning to descend down unto you, and please, do not take your experiences too seriously. You will find that seriousness is a fading aspect of the old paradigm and can be replaced with pure enthusiasm and joy, and will be in the time ahead. Thank you to the Hathors of Earth's solar astral planes. Channeled by Wesanak. Wesanak.com. AquariusParadigm.com